Good morning, one and all. In this video, I'm going to be demonstrating you how to do an autocomplete system with Elasticsearch, creating a backend services or REST API to query Elk Stack, and basically displaying it on a front end using jQuery and all of that. So, for example, if I say A, it's going to give me all the movies starting with A. So you can see it's working pretty nice. So if I say AM, so it's giving me American Psycho, American Warlight, and this also has AM, so it is basically giving me all of that. So if I say AME, then it's gonna match all the words with AME. So you see how efficiently you can develop an autocomplete system with Elasticsearch. It's nearly real time, as it's basically, as you say, search as you type. So I can say like like DAD, something like that, or whatever you want to search for movies. So for example, HAUN. So you see it works pretty well because it's doing as you type, it's making AJAX calls to the back end. So let's kindly just understand the gist of it. I mean, let's understand, man. For the explanation of the video, what I would say is basically, let me before even going to the query level, actually let me show you the data or the format. I'm just using a Netflix dataset, just to show you guys how the process should be. So my index name is my elk first search. So if I run this query here, so if you see, I have a title, I have a description, duration, cast, and stuff like that. So the idea for the autocomplete system is basically we had a Boolean query, and in the Boolean query, I'm using a regex query. So as you keep typing, for example, if you say A and we put a star, so that means, hey, match everything that starts with the letter A. So you can see it works pretty well, right? So that's the query. So you put it in the must section. That means this should have this. And then we do an aggregation on the title.keyword. Okay. So we have a mapping on the title field, which so let me show you. By default, the default mapping would be actually keyword if you don't specify a mapping. But I want to show you the mapping explicitly. It should be a small one, but yeah. So if you see title, so title is a type text, and inside that again we have a field which is called as a keyword. Type as keyword, ignore above 256. So that's the mapping. Okay. Now that's our backend. Okay, so this is our backend. Now we need to develop a REST API to do this job. So we'll come to IntelliJ. I have two folders called as backend. So if you observe, what I'm doing is basically I'm using a match phrase. So there are two ways of doing an autocomplete system. So this is part one, right? So in this, I'm gonna be showing you match phrase prefix query. So I'm using match phrase prefix query, and basically, the field name is title, and the query, whatever you type, whatever the user types from the front end, it's gonna come here. So the gist of the idea is basically create a basic, simple, bare bone REST API. Node name is my elk first, Elasticsearch. We create an instance, we create a controller, and if you see, when you basically makes a call to the elk stack. Node name size as 0 because we're doing an aggregation here. So self.base query. So we do the match phrase prefix query, and it takes an argument called as query, which should be whatever the user types, and we have a route call as autocomplete. So that's our backend. Now if you come to the front end, which is in Flask, so what I did is basically it's very simple. I just created a very simple home.html, and we have an internal pipe here, basically, which is the AJAX call is going to call here. As soon as the AJAX calls here, we call the URL, which is our backend services, a REST API on port 4000, and we pass the query parameter, and this returns a response to the front end. So if we come to the home.html, if you observe carefully, we have a simple input tag here. I have some CDN JavaScript here, but it's fine. So we have a simple and input tag, and basically a div tag where the results would be appended. So all I do is basically, so let me show you. So basically what I did is basically we make an AJAX call as soon as you type, right? So we make an AJAX call. So those AJAX calls are basically being made to the backend pipe here. So if you see carefully, we call the URL pipe, The pipe is basically here, which calls the backend services, which is going to go to the API. API is going to call elk stack. Elk stack going to return result to the pipe. Pipe again returns result to the front end. So that's the flow of the data, right? And all I do is basically I just convert that into an array. I could use a map object here, but I just use a jQuery here. But you could use map or filter commands to filter out. And then basically you're just saying like source autocomplete, and source as this. This is a throwaway operator. It's basically a list element. So if I show you the input tag here, it's the ID is source, right? So that's what we say. Okay, select that element, autocomplete functionality source as that. So actually I can show you if I just do a console.log. I'm just gonna show you the throwaway operator, the data, the format of the data. So let me go to the front end, which was here. Gonna refresh that, inspect. Now, if you see the console and if I type A here, so you see it's a list of all the titles. So what we did is essentially, we had the aggregation. For example, again, I want to show you, we transform the data. So if I console, I'm going to do a console.log here. Okay, so we'll do that console.log, refresh that, type an A. So you see this was the data we had in aggregation. We had the bucket name as autocomplete buckets, and that was all the movie names. And I essentially converted it into an array here. Then basically, now as you keep typing, so you have all of these amazing autocomplete feature with Elasticsearch AS. You can see it works pretty nice. SO. So solo, so you see, it works pretty nice. What you can do in the part 2, I'm gonna create another video. So I mean, what I'm saying is this works fine, but it would be more better if you change this to a regular expression query. For example, if I had to just show you the gist of the idea, let me go to the Elasticsearch and change this to wildcard query on the backend. So I'm just gonna change it to wildcard query. Title, value, and here I'm just gonna say star because it's a regular expression. Now check out the amazing things what happens here. So I'm gonna start my backend services again. Ideally I should be having this in a Docker container, but it's fine. Now see the change in the result. So if I say A, technically should work. I don't know if I messed up something. Yes, I did mess up something. I guess I have messed up the wildcard, the queries, but it's fine. I mean, you got the idea, right? So wildcard, we have a field title, value. Let me see what I did. Wildcard, then we have a field. Oh, that's a query. That's why. Damn it. So gotta change it to value here. So gotta restart my backend here. So start. So we start the backend services. Again, go to the front end, we refresh it, type A. Okay, now if you see, the search would be much better because we're using instead of a match phrase prefix, we're using a regular expression query. So you see how the results have changed. So you can use either match phrase prefix query, or you can use what do you call that, regular expressions. So, for me, I think the regular expression works better, I guess. But yeah, whatever you like, feel free to do that. What I'm gonna do is basically I'm gonna leave both the code, the back end, the front end, with two versions, with the regular expression and the wildcard query, both the version on the GitHub, so you can check it out. And yeah, I hope this would be useful to you guys. So this is how you would create a full-blown autocomplete system. You can also do a semantic UI or semantic UI. Oh yeah, semantic UI or select2.js here if you wanna customize the input field. But yeah, feel free to do whatever you want. I would leave all the links in the description with both the queries that I have done for the autocomplete system. As I said, wildcard and the match phrase prefix. Okay, so both of them I'm gonna leave it in the description. Actually, you know what, I can actually put it in the comments here, so you guys can, when you're developing systems. But the thing is, hold on, I need to, because when I do Control Z here, let me do this way. So I'm just going to do Control Z so we have it in the original query. So that's the original query. Okay. Ideally, if you want to see the changes in the result, my recommendation, try regular expression and the aggregation stuff. That might also be a good choice. So I'm going to paste that here as well. put this here, get this indentation right. I mean, just bring it a little bit closer. So try out this also, the star, the regular expression, and yeah, so see the difference, whatever gives you the best result, try out that. I would leave all the links in the description below. The front end code, the back end code should be pretty simple. I just use Flask to do an autocomplete, make an AJAX call at the pipe, did a post request, cache as false. If you want to do caching, you can also, do caching here. Ideally, also, I just wanted to show you one more thing. It will be just a little bit more code, but let me show you if I can do that. What you can also do is, for example, when a user clicks on any movie, you see how I have these stuff done. So for example, American Psycho. So for example, you did this, right? So the next time you refresh, it's already gonna come whatever you selected. So what you can do is, whenever you make a selection, you can put that on the what do you call that, session storage. So let me see. So let me see. What we can do is we can just add a button here. I mean, I'm not gonna worry too much about the CSS. So we can say type submit. Okay. Let's see the front end a bit. Yeah, I gotta work on the front end then. So what I was trying to do is, basically when you press a button here, we can store that value on the session storage. So let's see, a tag. Let's see if I can do it here in the same video. So we can call btn primary submit. Okay, so refresh that. Perfect. Now I just need to place that button a little bit close to here. So because otherwise it's gonna block this. So I want to put it right here. So what I'll do is basically just add a CSS quick. So we say style position, use absolute, can use top. From top we want at a 30%. Let's try that one. Perfect. Let's do 29% maybe. Yeah, I'm not gonna worry about CSS, worry about the functionality. Okay, so we should care more on the functionality. So now all I need to do is basically just need to move left as about 40%. Perfect. Well, a little bit more, so 50%. I guess a little more. I can use Bootstrap, the grid and all of that, but it's okay. I mean, let's keep the video small. Let's not worry about the CSS and let's worry about the functionality, what I'm trying to show you. Okay, so let's do just 120 and see if that works. Perfect. Just need to move that a little bit top, so 27% maybe. Let's see that one. The CSS. Let me try to move the button a bit up. I'm trying to move that thing up. Okay, maybe, I don't know, like 18%. That should work. Amazing. 5% top. Okay, let's do maybe 0%. Want to save that, of course. Yeah, that's fine. So consider this as a, let's say you selected this, then you press a submit button. The next time you reload, this should automatically come. So what we can do, whenever you do, we can add an on-click event. So focus on what I'm trying to teach you, okay? Button submit. Okay, so we'll write a JavaScript function here, button submit. So we'll say, hey, whenever anyone does that, what we can do is basically we can store that on the session storage session dot set item, and we can say last time you selected this, and the value would be basically so what I'm gonna do is basically from the source attribute, so I'm gonna use dollar hash source. So this should work pretty much. I'm also gonna print an alert just to make sure that it works fine. So I wanna make sure that this value. Okay, let's try out quickly. So I'm gonna show you what I mean. So American Psycho, perfect. So now what happened is basically I'm storing this on a client storage. So for example, session storage dot, we can say get items, and here I'm gonna say title. So you see it was stored on the session, and the next time when I reload, I want that option there. So what I can do, damn it. So we go to front end. We'll use a dollar document. I forgot what was that DOM element to load dollar ready. Just want to make sure quickly. Yeah, I forgot the syntax actually. I usually, you should usually Google it up. I usually Google up if I forget the syntax, official website, I go there and I quickly see, okay, that was the one, okay. So what I will do is here, I'll add a jQuery stuff here. As soon as the DOM is loaded next time, so I know that the value was there in the session, right? So get the value from the session. Okay, we'll do get items. Of course, get item won't take that one. So we get the item and then basically I'm gonna set it up. So what I'm doing is, was it well or was it text? I forgot. I guess it was text. Maybe well. Yeah, I guess it was well only, but let's just verify that by doing that an alert. Remove an alert from here. So we can say, okay, so whatever you select, next time when you reload the browser, it will be already there. Your movie selection would be there. So for example, American Psycho, submit. Okay, I think I gotta refresh this. You see, now next time it automatically will reload. Check this out. It's amazing, right? What you can do. So you can use like client side storage and all of that. So for example, let me show you. Okay. What the hell? Oh yeah, because it's already, yeah. So now let's say you are searching for a movie. Let's say we selected a haunting stuff, and when you click on submit, it's gonna store in the session. Now next time when you reload the browser, that movie would be already there, because that's what you selected the last, right? So you can store that on the session storage. So yeah, it's pretty cool. So you can play with the JavaScript code and stuff like that. So I'm gonna leave all of it in the description section below. Hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did enjoy this video, kindly leave a like on this video. The entire code is there on the description in my GitHub profile, so kindly do check that out. And yeah, keep smiling, keep coding, and see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching.